A three. And look out, Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up into Caitlin Clark.
A triple-double, broken records, and a skill gap that's starting to look more like a canyon. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she made a statement.
Here's Clark firing and hitting 20 points.
And from the jump, Caitlin wasn't backing down. She welcomed the contact and got the whistle.
Here's Clark working through some contact. Clark diving in, gets the whistle.
And after calmly knocking down the free throws, it was Angel Reese on the other end, getting to work.
Play with so much pace. It's where Caitlin Clark excelled a season ago.
Angel Reese dives in and finishes through the contact.
But her trash-talking heroics, yeah, those were quickly shut down.
Wants more of that from her, catching around that 15-foot area.
Clark connects! The first logo bomb of the season from Caitlin Clark.
Then Angel launches a three, but it's off. Caitlin answers with one of her own, and it's just short. Reese responds attacking the rim next, but gets stuffed.
Base barges in and gets denied by Boston.
Then Caitlin pushes the break, but her layup rolls off. So it's time to adjust, and Caitlin does so by sending some dimes.
Game's conditioning.
Maybe the broadcasters as well. Here's Howard, gets the whistle off a pretty dime from Clark.
But it was starting to become clear. Her Fever teammates weren't fully ready for those lasers yet.
On the offensive glass, but Howard comes away with it. Here is Clark. Clark feeding Boston, who can't finish. Lexi Hull comes in, grabs the rebound. She said, well, I know you guys love it. Oh, what a pass from Clark. But
luckily, her defense was enough to shut down Reese's drives. But to create real separation, her teammates needed to start finishing the plays she was setting up. And luckily for her, Lexi Hull got that message.
To Hull, here's Clark in transition. Clark, oh, what a look. And Hull lays it in.
But with Reese starting to knock down threes,
Reese will fire the three and hit from downtown. Angel.
Caitlin knew she had to take it up another notch, and that's exactly what she did.
Hitting Boston. Boston fakes and lays it in. There's that two-player chemistry.
But Reese wasn't having it. She blatantly shoved Boston in the face, trying to break up the chemistry. Still, that didn't stop Caitlin from keeping the offense flowing.
Her passing and the way that makes her a threat from so many different places on the floor. Clark, little mid-range is good. Boston gives it back. Clark to Boston. Her jumper is good.
The chemistry between Caitlin and Boston was unmatched. It even felt like it gave Caitlin some wings.
Angel Reese is a very good passer.
Clark.
Some of those shots were a bit much this early on, and on the fast break, she was asking a little too much from her vets.
The fling ahead, Howard.
Still, it didn't take long before she gave the crowd exactly what they came to see.
Here's Clark, 4 seconds left. Clark fires, you bet! Clark drills the three to end the second.
The Fever entered the second half with a 13-point lead and plenty left in the tank, and they didn't waste any time putting it to use.
Fifth. Here's Clark spinning, bouncing, what a find, and Howard lays it in on a delectable dime from Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin was really putting her full playmaking arsenal on display.
Nurse short on a three, Clark her sixth rebound. Here's Clark in transition. Nice find.
Another missed layup, but luckily, Aaliyah Boston was locked in.
When especially adjusted to a new team. Here's Boston. Fakes the jumper, rumbles inside, and drops it in.
While Angel was still battling to get the ball in the hoop.
Really well against the bigger Cardoso.
Reese spinning, couldn't pop it in. The O board, no. Another chance stripped away by Clark.
Caitlin was in full control, taking charge and stretching the lead.
Solid first game.
Clark looking to shake Vandersloot. Step back is good. Caitlin Clark.
It had been a fierce but fairly composed game until the third quarter. The Sky bricked a three, and Reese shoved Howard in the back, going for the rebound, but no whistle. So Caitlin tried to stop the break with a take foul, but Reese took that personal.
Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up into Caitlin Clark. afterwards has something to say as Clark walks away.
After a review, the refs determined that Caitlin shoved Angel after the foul, resulting in a controversial flagrant. After the game, both players brushed it off, calling it just a common foul. But let's be real, that pot had been simmering for a while. But that little exchange clearly lit a fire. CC came out of the gate swinging.
From Hull, Clark couldn't handle it. 6 to shoot. Here's Boston, will fire a 3 and hit. Clark gives it up, gets it back. Clark looking to take Williams, finds Boston inside for 2. Here is Clark pushing pace, racing up the floor. What a dime as Mitchell couldn't finish the lay.
She was up to 14, 7, and 7, and you could already feel it. Something special was brewing.
Just trying to impact winning the right way. I think over the last couple of years and having some experience losing, it made me want to win more, so just trying to impact winning.
And with her teammates running the floor in transition, it all started to come easier.
Closes in on a triple-double, 2 assists, 1 rebound away. Clark leading Mitchell for the lay, and the building is up for grabs. Clark gets it back from Boston. Now bounces to her. Boston drops it in.
That was her 10th assist, putting her just 1 rebound away from a triple-double in her Year 2 opener. A truly historic moment in the making. But before sealing the triple-double, she had more to show, from way beyond the arc.
Here's Clark firing and hitting. 20 points for Caitlin Clark.
And her vet, Dewana Bonner, had history to make of her own, breaking a scoring record and becoming 3rd on the WNBA's all-time scoring list.
She has tied Tina Thompson for 3rd on the all-time scoring list. And Dewana Bonner sits alone in 3rd place on the all-time WNBA scoring list.
And when Caitlin grabbed that final rebound, she sealed it.
Down. There it is! A triple-double for Caitlin Clark. The 3rd of her career. And she starts 2025 with a triple-double.
Clark, another long 3. She's back!
This might have been Caitlin Clark's best performance yet. NBA range 3s, broken records, and a level of brilliance the WNBA's never seen before. And the first time she brought it up the court, she wasted no time, dropping a perfect dime that set the tone for the night.
For her last 2. Nicely done to get it inside to Mitchell. Those two have such a great connection, especially when Kelsey...
The connection was instant, and that same chemistry showed up again when she found Aaliyah Boston in the post.
Great rebounding team this season.
Same in transition. Boston was already on the move. She knew exactly what was coming.
This is one thing you get with Clark is great pace and great passes. Found Boston perfectly.
A dime straight out of a quarterback's playbook that made 3 assists with 3 minutes left in the first. But Caitlin hadn't even scored yet, until she changed that in style.
Clark last played for Indiana against New York, and now she takes it in off glass and has a chance for a 3-point play.
She put a top-tier defender on skates and finished with the N1. Now that's CC magic. And well, with 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the first, that magic would do something that would change not only this game, but WNBA history.
Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got
A deep pull-up, and it didn't stop there. It sparked something unstoppable.
2 players with incredible up.
The commentator was speechless after that one, back to back, and this one even deeper than the last. But wait, it didn't even stop it there.
Clark, another long 3. She's back!
3 threes in under a minute to close the quarter, and 2 of them were from over 30 feet. That's at least 6 feet beyond the NBA line. That's not just deep, That's Curry range. And just so you don't forget, she had been out for 20 days before this. No warm-up, no easing in, just straight fire. And with the Liberty daring to leave her open to start the second, it was a no-brainer. The streak wasn't done yet.
Start second in a row, and Clark stays red hot.
Even her practice shot after the foul didn't touch the rim. That's how locked in she was, sitting on 4 threes and 17 points while the rest of her team hadn't made a single field goal. Luckily, she was more than ready to carry the load.
Traffic, and then steps back with the 3 over Brianna Stewart.
This isn't a video game. Caitlin Clark just knocked down 5 straight threes in the first half, including 3 bombs in just 38 seconds. And with Lexi Hull catching fire too,
Hull left open momentarily, and she nailed it.
the Fever were suddenly chasing a new franchise record for made threes. But Liberty's number 5, Natasha Cloud, wasn't having it. She pulled out the dirty playbook to knock Caitlin out of her rhythm.
And now a whistle is...
Unfortunately, this kind of physical targeting has become a theme in the WNBA, but luckily, not even that could stop Caitlin tonight.
Alex Sharon. Clark trying to answer, and indeed she does.
And with all that shooting, you might forget, she's an elite passer too.
Floor. Oh, behind the back action. Oh, from the corner.
But just when you thought the pass was the highlight, she outdid herself again, drilling yet another 3 to close the half.
Caitlin Clark. Feeling the 3.
This was hands down the best first half of her young WNBA career, single-handedly keeping the Fever in the game, shooting a ridiculous 66% from deep, and making sure the Liberty felt every bit of her presence. But there was one problem the Fever just couldn't shake: missing open layups.
Howard gets it to Clark. Another perfect pass to Hull.
Caitlin could have had a double-double by halftime, but her teammates kept fumbling the easiest shots. Luckily, Caitlin dug into her bag and started showing out on defense too.
Taken away by Clark. It's off of Stewart, so Indiana basketball.
Luckily, halfway through the third, the engine finally started to rev for the Fever. Her teammates began finding rhythm.
For some options, Hull spots up for 3 and hits it.
First, Hull knocked down a clutch 3. Then Aaliyah Boston went to work in the paint.
Until last night, this run. Oh, that's a nice little fake by Boston.
And now, with defenders worried about the pass, Caitlin Clark flipped the script, attacking the basket with purpose.
Caitlin challenged Sabally and won it.
She was in a total flow state, calm, locked in, untouchable. And even with a defender draped all over her, she rose up and drilled her 7th 3 of the night.
Clark nails it. A 17-0 run.
This is why you buy a ticket, nights like this. And if you want to see Caitlin Clark live, grab your seats with code TheWemby on SeatGeek for a nice little discount. Don't miss it. She was already sitting on a big 30, and there was still a quarter and a half to play. But guess who was right back on her tail?
Cloud and Clark have had some nice confrontations.
Caitlin got rewarded with a trip to the line, and Cloud, she got a seat on the bench. But even with the game settling down, Lexi Hull was out here going for the hat trick.
Kind of like a hockey line change. Off the inbounds.
Her 3rd missed layup of the night. And when I tell you how many assists Caitlin ended the night with, you'll understand just how sour this really was. Luckily, Lexi Hull redeemed herself midway through the 4th.
Clark. And then a perfect bounce pass with Hull working the baseline.
Caitlin made it look effortless, and when she started dribbling literal circles around the defense, you just knew this game was over.
Killing some more clock. And maybe the dagger. Kelsey Mitchell lighting it up here in the 4th quarter. And Indiana.
In the final 2 minutes, the Fever held their ground and secured the W. Caitlin Clark wrapped up the night with a monster stat line: 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. And yeah, if just 2 more boards dropped her way and 1 teammate finished a wide open layup, we'd be talking about a 32-point triple-double. But maybe that much history in one night was already enough. She hit 7 threes, helped set a new franchise record, and reminded everyone exactly who she is. This was one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the season. 2 #1 picks from the last 2 years, with history dating back to their college days. But when the pressure's on, you already know Caitlin's built to make history.
Cunningham attacked the closeout.
Clark, the rejection of Quinterly. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown, Fever.
Even after needing time to adjust from missing 9 games, this turned out to be her best passing performance of year 2 so far. But first, to start the game, she had to break that shooting curse.
Dishing to Hull. Extra feed Clark, a deep 3. You bet. And a sigh of relief from Caitlin Clark.
A relief indeed, especially after starting the season with real struggles from beyond the arc. But when she tried a heat check right after, it was clear she wasn't quite in top form just
In
yet.
action.
Clark, not that time.
But with her shot taking a back seat, she kept her head up, ready to dish out some dimes and get her team going.
Through. She said that made her feel a lot better. That pass will as well. Right.
She stayed locked in on defense too, ready to snatch at any moment.
Yeah, been trapped more lately, and Clark comes over the steal. Here's Clark to go in for the lay.
It felt like a Coliseum out there every time Caitlin touched the ball, and sometimes it was just too much for her teammates to handle.
Virginia. Clark bounces, Howard can't finish.
That's why, at times, she was forced to take matters into her own hands, even with double teams in her way.
At college, because they don't care about freedom of movement like that. I mean, Clark was fouled the entire way down and finally gets the whistle. She'll shoot 2.
Dallas decided to stick a little pit bull on Clark, one who would get away with way more than she should. But with great spacing on the floor, Clark just stayed composed and connected the dots like only she can.
Land on her home floor. Here's Clark off the give and go, extra feed, and the lay from Howard. Outstanding.
But her teammates didn't always capitalize. The wings were ready to clog the paint whenever they hesitated. So Caitlin showed a little magic of her own to slice through and make it happen anyway.
Won an offensive rebounding percentage in the
But her rust showed too. So on the very next play, she slowed it down and stayed patient.
in anticipation of All-Star. Nice lead there. Clark to Howard for 2.
Again, the perfectly timed pass by Caitlin Clark. The one extra.
She was ready to show out this quarter with one clear focus: speed.
Clark the rebound. Clark flicks it ahead. Mitchell. Over to Cunningham. Cunningham, a free lay.
Her teammates were running the floor, and like a quarterback, she was out there throwing Hail Marys.
Cunningham attacked the closeout.
Clark the rejection of Quinterly. Clark the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown, Fever.
A block and a full court assist in a matter of seconds. The perfect spark to ignite what would become a historic quarter.
Clark 4 assists, 7 points. Becker's 7 points, 2 assists. Here's Clark. Bounces. Boston takes and drops it in.
But not every great hustle play got the reward it deserved.
Clark pokes it away. Another steal for Clark, who is unable to lay it in. Goes down in a heat.
No foul was called, but it's hard to tell if she got pushed in the back. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Meanwhile, the Fever were running away with the lead. And Caitlin, she wasn't done dishing just yet.
Comes Indiana. Clark back in. Off to Hull. Catch. Fire. You bet.
Every possession ran through her hands and turned to gold, perfectly threading it to Boston.
Giving it up. Boston. Through the lane. Lays it in.
And when Mitchell was flying in transition, there was only one person who saw the vision.
One thus far. Clark, her 3rd steal.
It wasn't Mitchell though. She missed the wide open dunk. So Caitlin put the team on her back and decided to try her luck from deep once again.
Here's Clark being hawked by Isaiah James. Clark sidestepping 3 is good.
A seemingly regular shot, but for those paying close attention, the scoreboard told the story. Indiana had already racked up 64 points in the first half, the most by any team this season. And as you've seen, it could have been even more. But even with that big lead, Caitlin wasn't done.
To the corner, Clark able to keep her toes in bounds. Clark backing down Quinterly. 6 to shoot, fading away, and dropping.
The Pitbull just couldn't handle the weight Caitlin was bringing to the table, and when it came to those Hail Marys, this time Mitchell wasn't missing those open looks.
Still can't. Here's Clark flicking ahead. Mitchell alone lays it in.
With 8 assists already, it was clear Caitlin was fully in her passing flow, and with that pick and roll chemistry with Boston clicking, getting to 10 seemed like a walk in the park.
Leroux now.
Both in her post game, and she's shown the ability to hit from deep.
Boston, sure. There's that two-player action with Clark and Boston. Even with the amount of games Clark has missed.
Even when Dantas checked in, Caitlin didn't miss a beat.
Clark dumps it. Dantas able to squeeze it in.
Her passes were looking like lasers, slicing through the defense, and with that, she notched her 17th career game with 10+ assists. Dallas had no answer, so all they could do was foul.
It was unforgettable. Yes. Phoenix. Clark wheeling around Boston. Lobs it into Boston. Great positioning.
Even when they tried that, it just played right into her hands, baiting the defense perfectly. With all eyes on her, she effortlessly went back to dropping dimes like it was nothing.
Boston screen. Clark probing. Dishing. Gets it back. Thought about the 3. Gives it up. Boston lays it in. Knocked away. Here's Clark flicking ahead. Mitchell the catch. And the finish.
How many get-aheads has Caitlin Clark had today? 4 or 5, maybe?
Yes.
Wow.
The wings kept falling for the same trap, sending the double team at Caitlin, leaving the center wide open time after time.
Through the lane, feeds Howard. Another assist for Clark. That's 13.
It was like a cheat code. The wings still hadn't patched. And just like that, Caitlin racked up her 13th assist of the night. With a healthy 5 minutes left on the clock, she checked out with.
Second career game for her with 10 points, 10 assists, and 5 steals. Just the 5th player all time with multiple.
And just like that, the media-driven narrative of the top picks battling it out quickly turned into the Caitlin Clark Show. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more.
Ball game. Richards on the floor. Clark, the step back 3 just below the logo. Drill. Clark pulls off that screen, knocks, showing out.
And that was just the start. There was absolutely nothing the Washington Mystics could do to stop her that night. Caitlin Clark put on a show, delivering a historic performance with 7 threes and 30 points, breaking WNBA records yet again.
Be able to see Katie Lou after last night's game, so today, really the first time they're seeing her.
Clark, how did the...
Starting off in Capital One Arena, Caitlin Clark didn't get things going from beyond the arc right away. She attacked the rim to get things going.
Clark trying to get by. The Mystics defense gets right to the cup.
She instantly punished the high guard with a quick drive, finishing with finesse. And not much later, she showcased her playmaking.
Boston gets the slip.
First, it was the pass to Boston. Then, in transition, she found Mitchell on the run.
Quickly up the floor is Mitchell. Beautiful find from Clark as Mitchell lays it up and in.
She was averaging 6 assists for a reason, orchestrating the Fever's offense like a maestro. The Mystics quickly realized they couldn't afford to give her any space and tightened up their defense, trying to disrupt her rhythm. But Caitlin wasn't phased. She adjusted.
As she's into the ball game, Richards on the floor. Clark, the step back 3 just below the logo, drills it.
She found her moment and nailed her first 3 of the night, silencing the crowd. Even still in the first quarter, Caitlin was already looking to crush her season average. She dished out 2 more dimes, sending herself to 4 assists, setting the tone for the night.
The kick, Smith will call her number and knock it down.
Even with this impressive burst of playmaking, let's not forget the title of the video. It's all about the threes. And in the second quarter, Caitlin wasted no time reminding everyone why.
Pulls off that screen, knocks it down even with her body fading.
So, as the Mystics watched Caitlin start to catch fire, they adjusted their strategy, fouling her to defuse the flame. It kind of worked for the quarter, holding her to just 5 points.
Foul on Samuelson.
However, the third quarter started off slow for Caitlin. She kicked things off with a quick dime.
For the Mystics on the offensive end, now into double figures with 12.
But shortly after, the Mystics' defense turned up the pressure, and Caitlyn found herself getting the foul called against her.
We broke the news to her that she was going to be invited here to DC to play.
And an offensive foul called.
Contact plays were proving difficult with the whistle blowing against her, so Caitlyn made the smart adjustment. She stepped back and took it beyond the arc.
Clark, pull up three, at one. Tickle.
And the dominoes started to fall. Later in the quarter, she shook off herself wide open on the perimeter and let it fly, splashing yet another three.
Clark, an absolute beautiful shot.
With seconds left on the clock, Caitlyn surprised her defender with a slick step back, creating just enough space to launch her third three of the quarter.
Back-to-back triples for Caitlin Clark.
She was putting on a shooting clinic, and it was clear the Mystics had no answers, and it almost became 4 threes in the quarter, but the moment was snatched away by yet another whistle.
A whistle and a foul. And one more for good measure.
But it didn't really matter. There was still a quarter left, and Caitlyn was already sitting on 5 threes in total, with the focus on to the real prize, securing the win. And for her, luckily, her teammates had her back.
See at Capital One Arena for this matchup.
Samuelson at the buzzer.
It was raining threes, and Caitlyn wasn't letting up, continuing the streak and letting it fly. Splash.
They're saying here.
Clark, how did the...
Triple in a row. The crowd was on its feet, the Mystics were scrambling, and Caitlyn was locked in, proving why she's one of the deadliest shooters in the game. And it didn't take long for her to add another to her collection.
Isolation here for Mitchell.
Clark, another one.
That made it official. 7 threes on the night, tying Crystal Robinson for the WNBA's rookie record for the most threes in a game. But with 7 minutes left on the clock, you're probably wondering why Caitlyn didn't just keep firing from beyond the arc. Well, the Mystics had clearly learned their lesson. They were locking her down on the perimeter, and when that wasn't enough, resorting to fouling her. Because let's be honest, 2 free throws are a lot easier to stomach than another 3-pointer raining down on them. With 5 points added from the line, Caitlyn wrapped up the night with a 30-point bomb, tying her career high and delivering yet another unforgettable performance. This game wasn't just about the numbers. It was a statement, a reminder of why she's one of the most electrifying players in the WNBA.
Richards, as she's into the ball game. Richards on the floor. Clark, the step back three just below the logo, drills it. Clark pulls off that screen, knocks it down even with her body. Clark, pull up three, at one. Tickle.
Showing out.
Clark.
Do as a defender is not give it to her.
Clark.
Stay loose.
Back-to-back triples. 3 minutes. Clark. A whistle and a foul.
After last night's game, so today, really the first time they're seeing her.
Clark.
Isolation here for Mitchell.
Clark. Another one.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to catch more of Caitlyn's incredible past and future performances. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can now buy me a coffee. It really helps me keep bringing you great content. See you in the next one.